Hello, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk to you all about manifestation. And what is manifestation? What do I actually mean by that? And what is it as a business strategy? Okay, so imagine that you didn't have to take it all on yourself, that it wasn't all on your shoulders. You didn't have to go and learn everything for yourself. You didn't have to do all the hustle all the time. You didn't have to put in the sweat and the grind to grow your business. Imagine if clients were to come to you somewhat miraculously through ways that you've never even imagined. And imagine that opportunities came to you that would allow you to solve problems in your business, that would allow you to take some of the workload off your plate and to have someone there to help you. Imagine that. How would that feel for you? That is the ultimate scenario that we're working towards when it comes to manifestation as a business strategy. So, if that sounds good to you, stick around because I think you'll like what I have to say on this podcast. So, here's my take on manifestation. I hear this term bandied around all the time, like, yeah, I'm just going to manifest that. It seems to have had a real kind of resurgence in popularity through when you look at, the popularity of search terms through Google, when you see stuff on social media, people are talking about manifesting everywhere. And I love that. I love that it's becoming so much more mainstream. And, I love that new people are getting into it all the time. It is fantastic. But I also think that there's a little bit of an element of, this 2D kind of nature to the conversation sometimes around manifestation. And, when we just bandy it out, yeah, I'll just manifest it. We just throw words around like that. I don't think it really goes deep enough to really talk about how there are elements. There are so many more different elements to manifestation. And when you've got a really good practice in place, when you've got a good process in place that touches upon all the different universal laws and melds together, and actually leverages the different universal laws and actually puts them into action, I think that's when we get really, really powerful results. So, my take on manifestation, and I do like to think about the way Mel Robbins describes manifestation as a starting point. She talks about it being the act of training your brain in order to intentionally receive and to experience what you want. So it's almost like you're giving the software in your brain a bit of an upgrade. Let's just imagine if you're upgrading your computer from one version of Windows to another version of Windows, or one version of your Mac operating system onto another version of your Mac operating system, and things get a little bit of a lift. The powers that you have on your computer, are suddenly enhanced. There are new features that you can do. And this is what's literally happening with your brain. You're giving your brain an upgrade. So when you are actively going through the manifestation process, you are essentially rewiring and reprogramming your brain. You are practicing what it is like to experience life at that level. Life at the level of whatever it is that you're manifesting. So I'm going to use the example because a lot of my clients are in this space where they're looking to manifest an extra 5K every month consistently to take that financial pressure off. So you would be reprogramming your brain to be operating at that level of having 5K extra a month. How would life be if you actually had 5K extra every single month without question? What would it be like for you? How would you be thinking? How would you be acting? What would your predominant emotional state be like? What kinds of beliefs do you think you will have taken on board at that point? Things like, my business works really well. Things like money comes easily. Things like, these clients come to me really easily. Maybe you would be thinking like that. How would you be managing your money differently? Would you perhaps have financial systems in place that allow you to automatically put tax aside from your business account, that would automatically put aside, a bit of a share of profit. So you might want to reinvest that at some point. Would you take out a percentage for yourself to put in your personal account for your spending? And would you have a certain percentage of that might go to donations, that might go to your fund money? How would you be managing your money? So when we start thinking and believing and operating and taking on the habits of this 5K a month extra version of you, or, substitute that for whatever number it is that you're looking to manifest, that is where we get to literally start training your brain. It's So even if you don't actually have that extra 5K a month, you're setting up the systems and putting them into place. You're kind of thinking about how it would be for you logically. Maybe you get, an extra, I don't know, 100 this month. And then you're thinking, how much of that goes to tax? How much of that goes to profit? How am I thinking about that? Isn't it great that this has come to me? How, it's come to me really easily. It's coming to me. It's working. It's happening more and more. So do you see what I mean? You'll start actually thinking and operating from that place of being the extra 5K a month coach or healer. So that is a really nice way to start the conversation, I think, around manifestation. It's like you're upgrading your brain, you're reprogramming your brain, you're rewiring your brain to actually experience what it's like at that level. And I think then we get to link into where we are tapping into the field of infinite potential. We're tapping into the universal energy. And if your belief structures are a little bit different, maybe you call that God, maybe you call that goddess, maybe you call it whatever it is for you, the gods, spirit, higher self. So we get to start linking into this higher power. And we do that through one of the universal laws, which is the law of attraction. So when you're vibrating at this level of, being in the mindset of that 5K a month extra coach or healer, then you're probably going to be operating in a more confident way in your business. You're probably going to be operating in a more confident way with money. You're probably starting to build the capability and your belief in yourself that you can handle this extra money, that you know what to do with it, that actually you're starting to maybe market yourself in a way that is at that level. And therefore, the clients will come at that level. So then when we start vibrating and operating in that way, that is where the law of attraction starts to meet up with us, because like attracts like. So when you're vibrating at that level of confidence and capability, and you know it's coming and you know it's working, then what happens in the vortex, what happens in the field of infinite potential, is that the law of attraction is then activated and it starts bringing you the very thing at a vibrational match. So you have more experiences that allow you to be more confident with money, to be more capable with money, to have the clients coming to you at that 5K a month level because you're already vibrating at that level. So this is where the spiritual aspect then starts to come in. But there is the element of you having an active role in this, an active role in terms of having a look at your thoughts, having a look at your feelings, having a look at your belief systems, clearing out any blocks, and actually acting at that level, being that person who has already got that. And that is how you adjust and tweak and keep on tending to your vibration so that you are a vibrational match for the universe so that it can bring you everything that you're looking to manifest. So we set out a clear intention to create the thing that you wish. I believe it's got more nuance and it's got more richness than a goal. I mean, goal setting is great, don't get me wrong, but when you look at it in a business context, when you look at SMART goals, they're specific, they're measurable, and, et cetera, whatever, that acronym, represents, I can't remember immediately off the top of my head now, but it's a little bit 2D, isn't it? And I like to look at when we're setting a clear intention in the manifestation process, we get really rich with this. So yes, money might be one of your tipping off points. It might be your launching point into exploring, how does this life look for you? How does this person operate in this life who has already received this? So because money often is a domino goal for us, like once we have that goal, it is going to enable many other little things in your life that you want to bring into existence. Maybe that is having the financial ability to bring on a VA to help you. Maybe it's having the financial ability to get the right accountant, to get the right support in your business, like a bookkeeper, to hire the coach that's really going to help you get to the next level. Maybe it's also being able to pay yourself at a certain level so that you can get the help around the house, so that you can send the kids to the schools that you want to send them to, so that you can have the family holidays and the experiences together that really enable you to spend time and to connect and to bond and to create memories for the future. So really, it's actually more than a goal, because when you think about what I just described to you, it's more than I just want an extra 5K a month, right? Like the 5K a month doesn't touch on all of that. It doesn't touch on the impact of how that's going to actually change your life. And then even further than that, it's probably going to change your family's life, your loved one's life. It's probably going to change the lives of the causes that you want to support, the things that you would like to do for other people that gives you the ability to do that. So this is what's available to you. So this is why I love to use the terminology like profound vision. It gives it that element of, wow, this is how life is going to be different at this time. And then from that, we can identify what are the, like, 1, 2, 3 domino goals, right? Like maybe it's the money. When the money's in place, then I'll have the ability to invest in X, Y, or Z. You know that's going to happen first, but you'd like the money to come so that you can do that. Or maybe another domino goal is actually having the right person on your team to help you. So maybe it's manifesting that right person. So that could be another example of a domino goal. And once that person is in place, then it allows you to get those systems in place for your business. It allows you to reduce your hours. It allows you to actually focus on the things that you adore. And I hear this from business owners all the time. It's like, it's the marketing and it's the bookkeeping and the finances that really drag us down. So this is where we get to be really powerful and clear with our goals. And then beyond that, so we get to see the impact, we get to see how our lives change, we get to see how things will up level. We also want to get into that vibrational space. How does it feel? How does it feel to have that reality? And so this is where we get to tap in and touch into that reality in the future, that reality that you've already created in the field of infinite potential. It is there and it's available. It's in the vortex. Let's tap into it. Let's feel it out. How does it feel? Does it feel freeing? Does it feel joyous? Does it feel abundant? What are the kinds of emotions that you would experience? Let's bring those into the now. So this is what manifestation is. It's not just these kind of vague statements like, yeah, I'd like to manifest, more money. It would be great to have more money. The universe is like a loyal dog, a loyal dog who you throw a stick, it's going to go and fetch it and bring it back. So you ask the universe, I would like more money. If you find $1 on the street, tick, the universe has technically given you more money. Congratulations. This is why we need to be really specific about it. I want to manifest more love. I want more time. I want more money. These are all lovely things. And I get where people are coming from because I see responses like this to people who are coming into the Facebook group all the time. We have the Facebook group, Manifesting More Money and Magic on Facebook. If you want to join, by the way, it's a wonderful little community. We do trainings in there every week and I'm in there talking to people all the time. Come along and join. You'll see actually what I'm talking about. When you click to join, I've got a few questions on there just so I can get to know people and know what they need from this group. And one of the questions that I ask is, what is it that you're looking to manifest now? And sometimes people fill that in and say more money, more joy, more time. I get that. That's really, really great, but it's not a clear request. And so the universe is going to struggle to actually match your expectations that are probably deep down in your brain that, what more time actually looks like might be a very different work-life balance. What more love and more connection looks like might be a very different experience with your family. What more money looks like might be a very different financial reality to what you have right now. So this is where we want to get really clear, really profound, actually think about how it's going to change your life, how it's going to change the lives of yourself, your loved ones, and any other people that you want to impact, how that's going to make you feel. So all of this, the more you do this work, it's reprogramming your brain. Your brain is plastic. Your brain has this, neuroplastic kind of, quality to it, and we see that through the books and the literature that's coming out through neuroscience all the time. New neurons that fire together, wire together. So when we start thinking in a different way, we start seeing chemical changes already that are detectable in the brain. And then the more that we activate those pathways and the more those chemical changes are made again and again and again, we start getting structures in the brain. We start getting physical changes in the brain. This is a beautiful thing. If you have come from a place a little bit like me and what I was discussing on the previous podcast about having a certain reality in your childhood, it doesn't mean that that is a fait accompli. That is not your forever story. If you've always grown up thinking that money is scarce, that it's hard to come by, that things are difficult, that people like you don't make money, that is not your forever story. And so the beautiful thing about what we're finding out through neuroscience now is that we can actually start to change and reprogram our brains. And we can do this through money mindset work. And this beautifully links into manifestation, because as soon as you start doing that money mindset work and you start changing the way you think about money, start changing the way you think about your work and your value and the value that you're offering to the world, then you're vibrating at a different level. And this is why the two things paired together are so powerful, because then when you are vibrating at that level, you're able to activate the law of attraction and other universal laws and start to really bring those things that are an energetic match to you. So this is why it is so important to do this work. It is not just a kind of, I want to manifest that, and it's a bit of wishful thinking. There's actually quite a bit of active process to it. But it's the kind of thing that you can build into your day as daily habits. And over time, it just becomes really, really unconscious. And the more you do this, the more you kind of drip feed that into your day, drip, drip, drip. You do a little bit more of this work, a little bit more of this work, a little bit more of this work. Your brain starts to change. The way your default thinking around money and around your work changes. The way your energy system changes on a day-to-day basis, it gets higher vibration and higher vibration and higher vibration. You find over time that it compounds and that you start getting remarkable results from very small things that you're doing every day. So this really, ties back into what Mel Robbins was talking about. The act of training your brain intentionally to receive or experience what you want is really what manifestation is about. And I wholeheartedly agree with her. I think, what a really interesting example of this, or not doing this actually, not manifestation, is when you see people who have won the lottery. And so, it's such a common story, isn't it? That people who win the lottery, who have a poor money mindset, who've perhaps never had that experience of having wealth at that level before, don't know what to do with it. And so they get all of that money and they have it temporarily. And then they go and buy lots of great things. They treat their friends. They love actually, having this abundance and, investing in things for their family. And then suddenly all the money is gone. Where did it go? And it happens really, really quickly. You hear that again and again and again. And this is because I believe they have literally got the mindset and the money mentality that they had before with poor money habits potentially. And I would class myself in this camp, by the way, like all of my money history. If I had won the lotto years ago, I totally would not have known what to do with it. In fact, I may have even felt really guilty about having it, and I would have found ways to get rid of it, right? This is what happens. So it's like when the money comes in and it's not a match for the way that the brain is operating at that level, maybe, the software, if you want to use that analogy again, the software just doesn't compute. Like, how do we handle this level of money? And maybe there's, a lot of temporary pleasure. And it's like, hey, amazing. I've got all of this money and it feels super abundant and there's so much of it, but it goes so quickly. And that is because we don't have the thoughts and the belief structures and the habits and the behaviors of someone who knows how to manage their wealth. And so that's really what you get by practicing this in advance and becoming that person before you even have that in your reality, because it allows you not only to attract it, but it allows you to hold it. It allows you to become someone who saves, someone who invests, if that's in your path and that's something that you're interested in. It's something that I'm absolutely interested in. So stick around if all of that is really interesting to you. That's all the type of stuff that we're going to be exploring on this podcast. So, upgrading our brain, reprogramming our brain, coming into a different relationship with money, with ourselves, with our work, with our value, and actually becoming that person in advance. And then it's, really about keeping that faith that, yes, it's coming, letting go of the hows. Like we can, do a bit of an experiment. Hey, I wonder if this will work. Maybe I'll go out and I'll start a podcast. I'm going to do this and let's see if I enjoy it, see if I find the right people. Maybe it's actually, I want to do some coaching now and I'm going to try doing a group program. Hey, maybe you actually run a group program. See how it lands. Did you enjoy it? Maybe that's right. We don't have to grip onto how it will happen, though. That's another manifestation mistake that I see people making. They set these goals. They have, the way I term it and the way I like to make it richer, as I've just described, is that profound vision. But sometimes that profound vision really has a lot of attachment to the how. And what we want to get away from is we don't really know how exactly it's going to happen. I mean, years ago when I shared my story of manifesting my kinesiology practice and becoming a kinesiologist, I would have said to you that that is how I am going to make enough money that will allow me to invest in property, and it will allow me to eventually become financially free. And actually, when I spent time being a busy kinesiologist in a very traditional practice, I was like, this is not actually how I want to make a living. And I really had to become okay with that reality. Like, I had fought so hard and I really thought that this was what I wanted, and it wasn't actually in the end. But do you know what? That's okay, because it was part of my experimentation and it led me to where I am today. I would not have got here today without that in place. But we don't want to hold on to the how and get disappointed if it doesn't happen in the way we expect it to. Because you know what? When we're working in a spiritual realm like this as well, the field of infinite potential, the universe, we have no idea what's possible. How can our human brain even comprehend what is possible? So if you're able to open up and allow that actually this experience of wealth of time, wealth of money, wealth of love, all of the ways in which you want to receive wealth and experience wealth, what if that was available to you in a way that you can't even possibly imagine right now, but you're just going to take a punt on what feels good? You're going to take the next step and experience what it's like to do the thing that you think might actually be in alignment with what you want to do. So that's some of the aspects to manifestation as well. Opening up to those lessons, like I said, with my kinesiology practice. If you'd talked to me in 2013, 2014, I think it was when I was training, I would have told you that this is my life's purpose. This is what I'm going to do now. I don't do that anymore. I think of it like seasons now, because I've been, so committed to a process so many times, and actually it's not ended up being what I thought it would be. And that's totally okay. We learn from all of these experiences. So, trust that you are on the right path. Keep that faith that even if the thing that you hope works out in a certain way doesn't work out in that way, that's okay. You're still on the right path. You've learned something new though. So perhaps you're going to adjust and pivot a little bit. So this is what manifestation is. This is my take on manifestation. This is what's really worked for me. Manifestation is not wishful thinking without the action. I hear that a lot, that people are like, well, if I just do the meditation, if I just do the affirmations and the mantras, which those are all fantastic practices, by the way, but without the aligned action, without you taking part, unfortunately, chances are it ain't going to happen. So there is an element of, this is an active process. This is not a passive process. Wishful thinking is a little bit like, oh yeah, I'd love to get to a different fitness level. I'd love to be able to run around the park and do 10K. But then actually, talking about that while you're sitting on the couch, binging on Netflix and maybe on your favorite snacks, and not actually, going out and, building up to that level of fitness. That's an example for you. Wishful thinking, rather than a rock solid commitment that you are up for whatever it takes on your part to create this. And then the rest of it's up to the universe to meet you halfway. So another thing that I find as well with manifestation is it's not taking more and more effort and more energy to do more. It's almost like willing something into existence, trying to control the outcome that it will come into existence. I have seen people do that a lot, and I believe that is not manifestation. Yes, we want to take action. Yes, we want to take high value action. I call that aligned action. Those are the things that are in alignment with your ultimate goal that you're looking to manifest. But it's not about doing more. Don't get me wrong about that. I'm not suggesting that you take even more action than you're doing now. So for my type A's out there, chances are that's you, because that's like my story as well. That's how I know that. So manifestation is not doing more to will it into existence. And it's not about scattering your energy to do lots of different things either. We might want to, up until a certain point when you get a very clear sign, you might want to just keep on the same path, and if things don't work out the way you think that they should have, having a look at the lessons, having a look at what you learned, having a look at how you can go deeper, how you might adjust and pivot slightly, rather than, well, I'll try this thing and then I'll try this other random thing over here, then this other random thing over here. What you're actually manifesting at that point is very scattered energy, and what you might receive is actually quite scattered results. So actually really committing to the path and up until the point where it's like, okay, it's clear now, it's time to change. And as I mentioned, I've had 4 different businesses and I am multi-passionate. So if you're in that kind of boat, I can really understand, because I've done that many times before. I've had very scattered energy, but I really did get scattered results. Once I really embedded down and committed to a path, that is when I got much more consistent results because I was being more consistent. So it makes sense, right? It's an energetic match. Okay, so there's some of the examples of what manifestation is not. It's not wishful thinking. It's not doing more and more. It's not scattering your energy by doing all these different things and trying to will it into existence. So manifestation is, as a business strategy, is really all about, yes, you do set the goal, but you also make it a really profound vision. You see the impact of creating that in your life. You're getting into the feeling space. You're tending to your vibration. You're upgrading your brain's software. You're reprogramming and rewiring your brain to think prosperously as a coach, as a healer who is at that level. And then it's about clearing the space as well. Like, what's getting in your way? Are there things that are cluttering your mind? Are there things that are cluttering your emotional system? Are there things that are cluttering your physical space? Space clearing can be huge in manifestation. We're going to be talking about a lot more of this actually as we go through this podcast, but I want to just highlight for you a few of the ways in which, manifestation as a business strategy, this is what it looks like. Removing things from your diary that don't align with you. Anything that creates stress, you're eliminating as much as possible. Outsourcing if possible. Cross it off your to-do list if at all possible. Putting boundaries in place for the things that don't work for you, for the things that stress you out. So taking that aligned action, one of the quotes that I love about manifestation and aligned action is one by Wallace D. Wattles. And he said many, many moons ago, by thought your desire, or the thing that you desire, is brought to you, but by action you receive it. So what I really believe he's talking about there, or he was talking about, was by thought, by belief, you're activating the field of infinite potential right there. You're bringing that thing to you. It's there energetically, but you are the creator on the physical plane in the 3D. You are that creator. You are the one that is creating on this physical plane. So through your action, you're able to receive that and manifest it into reality. And I believe that that is where the magic is. That is where the magic of the two things coming together really, really lies. So you're doing that aligned action, the high value actions, the things that will take you closer to your goal. Taking the things off your plate that you don't need to do, whether it's crossing them out and releasing them for good, whether it's outsourcing them, investing a little bit of money potentially in people that can help you with that. Asking the universe to help you when you don't know how to do things. Maybe the universe can bring to you the right online course, the right mentor, the right, trainer. Maybe it can bring you the right person, the team member who can do this for you. Growing your network, asking for advice, researching with people who are in your network. And then you're able to manifest the money, manifest the right clients, manifest the right team, manifest the right mentors, manifest the right knowledge. And that is how you can use manifestation as a business strategy. Yes, you manifest money, but it's so much richer than that. Because many of us have this underlying belief that actually money comes through hard work and it's not easy to make money. So if you are caught up in that belief, which I haven't really met anyone that's not caught up in that belief, but if you are in that belief, you might get stuck in that trap of, I have to work harder to earn more money. And this is where we look at manifestation holistically. I want to get the right clients, not any client, the right client who's going to be a dream to work with and who's going to pay on time. In fact, pay in advance, in full. The right team who are easy to work with, who have the right skill set, who you can outsource to with no worries. The right mentors who come into your life at the right time to teach you and guide you in the ways that you need. The right knowledge when you don't know how to do something. Maybe you see a Facebook post or something and it's like, oh my God, that's exactly what I was looking for. Yes. This is how I've used manifestation in my businesses. So this is what we're really going to be talking all about on this podcast. How you can use All of these strategies to help take a load off your plate, to give up the hustle, to give up the grind, and to give up that idea that you've got to carry it all for yourself. Actually outsourcing a lot of that to the universe, outsourcing that to that higher power, to the field of infinite potential, to support you in growing your business, which is going to impact your family, your loved ones, your clients, and the causes that you want to support so positively. So this is ultimately really positive work. So there you have it. There are my thoughts on what is manifestation as a business strategy. I'd love to hear your take on this. If you're listening to this, maybe, you want to take a screenshot if you're on your phone and then share it on social media. Let me know. What is it that one takeaway was from this episode? I really look forward to hearing what your thoughts are on this episode and how you might be able to use manifestation as a business strategy for yourself. All right, that's what I've got for you today. Have a wonderful week. Happy manifesting, and I will be back with another episode soon. Bye for now.